Hello, Tiger fans, and welcome back to another episode of Tiger Sports Nation. I'm Drew Cosgray.
And I'm Francisco Avila, and we are going to tell you everything you need to know heading into our competitions for DePauw's Old Gold Weekend.
On Friday, the men's tennis team will head to Kalamazoo, Michigan for the ITA Central Region Championships. This will be their final match of the brief fall season as they'll look to bounce back and finish strong after falling 5-1 at Indiana Wesleyan in their last match.
On Saturday, the men's and women's cross-country teams will head to Louisville, Kentucky for the Live in Louis Classic. The women will look to build off their 8th place finish at the John McNichols Invitational, as the men will look to build off their 6th place finish.
The men's soccer team will host Worcester on Saturday as they'll try to bounce back after suffering a 2-1 loss last weekend at Oberlin. The Tigers will enter this matchup with a record of 6-4 and 0-1 in conference. After a hot 5-0 start, the Tigers have fallen into a bit of a skid recently and will hope to turn things back around in this, just their second conference match of the season.
The women's soccer team will also be hosting Worcester on Saturday, as they'll be hoping to improve on their 1-5-1 record as conference play starts to amp up. The Tigers come into this game after dropping their first conference game on the road against Oberlin, making them 0-1 in conference play. Worcester comes into this one riding a nice 3-game win streak that has boosted their record over .500 heading into conference play.
We're looking forward to snapping that winning streak. So the field hockey team will travel to Center College on Saturday for a matchup with the Colonels. They will then be off to Transylvania on Sunday to face the Pioneers. The Tigers will look to snap the mini 2-game skid they've been on with a win. Center opened up their season with a 6-0 record, but have dropped its last 2 games to bring them to a 6-2 overall. Transylvania is still in search of their first win as they've dropped their first 8 games.
The football team is back home on Saturday for Old Gold Weekend as they look to remain unbeaten in conference play against Hiram. The Tigers are 2-1 overall and 2-0 in conference, as they won back-to-back games against Kenyon and Worcester. Quarterback Chase Andrews will look to stay sharp as he's thrown for 7 touchdowns over the last 2 games, while receivers Trey Shaw and Jaylon Smith will also look to stay hot, as they've each caught 3 touchdowns over the last 2 games. Our very own Taylor Richardson got to catch up with star wide receiver Jaylon Smith and how he's been able to make a huge impact on the football team's success as a first year.
Hello, Tiger sports fans. I am joined here by DePauw's new star wide receiver, Jaylon Smith. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, how are you?
I am doing great. So just first couple questions we're going to ask. How does it feel to score your first touchdown at the D3 college level?
It's definitely something that a lot of athletes dream of, especially football players. So it was something that was really exciting for me, and I felt like it's something that I'll never forget.
Yeah, absolutely. So then when did you realize that you could play at this high of a level in college? Like, just was there some point at practice, or is it just during a game? Like, yeah, I can just do this. I can dominate.
I've realized I can play at this level early on. It wasn't anything that I thought about taking serious once I started playing football But once I got to the high school level and I started seeing my opportunities in front of me, I felt like it was something that I was capable of doing, and that's where I put my mind straight and started taking my grades and stuff serious to be able to play at this level.
Why did you choose DePauw?
I chose DePauw mainly because of my coaches. I built great connections with my coaches, and I've been able to build great connections with my teammates also. Also the education. I felt like there's a lot of connections that comes through with coming to DePauw. So I just felt like it was the best thing for my future, because they say that your next 4 is the next 44.
Yeah, absolutely. So then how has Chase Andrews been to have as your QB? Like, has he helped elevate your game as well too?
I think having Chase is definitely an advantage. I've never played with I've actually played with one QB that was similar with him, but Chase has a lot more accuracy and a lot more throwing power, which helps me a lot too. And working with Chase every day in practice is definitely a challenge, because, there's some times where we're just trying to adjust and learn how fast I'm actually able to run. So there's a few miscommunications here and there, but once we get things down packed, it works out perfectly fine with us.
Do you know specifically what your 40 time is?
4.4.
Dang, there we go. That's what's coming for Wabash soon. So then, what is to be expected of you for the rest of the season? Do you have any overall individual goals?
It's just to go out and perform as best as I can every day. Take it snap by snap, because you never know what play can be your last.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us here, Jaylon. That will do it for our interview here. Now back to Drew and Francisco.
Thank you, Jaylon, and good luck on Saturday. And last but not least, the volleyball team will be on the road to face Worcester, as they'll be keeping a look pace in the conference standings. After splitting their matches last weekend against Hiram and Allegheny, Worcester has dropped 3 matches in a row, but still comes into the match with a record of 10-5 and 0-1 in conference.
Those are all the games we have in store for you this week. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to check out on all our social media platforms. We'll be back at the same time next week. Thanks again for watching. I'm Francisco Vila.
And I'm Drew Cosgray. And as always,
Roll Tigs.